Now I know y'all aren't interested in watching me hard plumb PVC for the next hour. Save you that time, I have actually already done it. The magic of YouTube, it's amazing. That being said, there are some things that I haven't done yet. I plumbed this actually probably about a week ago. What I haven't done is some of the stuff that I forgot. I have been back and forth to Home Depot, to Lowe's, to Bulk Reef Supply, order online. Way more times than I want to count for stuff that I forgot. Things like check valves, reducers, a few things that I didn't really think of. That being said, if you are interested in learning how to hard plumb completely with the cement, with primer, with PVC cutters, check out this video right there. It's really simple, super straightforward. I will show you somewhat in this video for the few things that I have left to do with my reactors and my check valve. So let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is my return line and manifold. Okay, I'm gonna step through this real quick just so you can see exactly what everything is. So this connection right here, this barbed connection, is where my return pump is gonna connect to. So all head pressure is beginning at this point. Water will flow along this way, hit this point, come along here, and then go back up into my display. Okay, so that's very basic. I have a gate valve right here so I can turn on and off for cleaning, for maintenance, water changes, what have you. Now, any head pressure developed here will push this way along my manifold. So you might be asking, what's the purpose of a manifold? The purpose of the manifold are for my reactors. These reactors will be housing, at least for now, activated carbon and GFO, or granular fluid oxide. So the reason we are here today are for two things. Number one, install this check valve. Number two, install the reactors. So let's go ahead and do the check valve first. For those of you who are not familiar with what a check valve is, a check valve basically allows one-way water pressure and prevents backwash into whatever system it is that it's being used on. I use check valves for my CO2 line upstairs on the dwarf puffer tank, and that stops water from accidentally flowing back into my solenoid or CO2 tank. Basically the way that this works is on the inside there's this little ball. It's not really a ball, it's more of like a little cup. Basically, water goes one way. So in this case, it's going from bottom to top. As water flows through, like my finger, oh God, this is dirty. God damn it. As water flows from the bottom up, it pushes up and it allows water to flow freely. Now, if you were to come in from the other side, it would stop it. So water can only go one direction. Also, this was a helpful biology class for those of you that are unfamiliar with the miracle of childbirth. For this project, you're gonna want just a few tools. First of all, you're gonna want PVC cement and PVC primer. Both of these work in conjunction to fuse the PVC itself. You put the cement down first, then you put the primer, and then they fuse together, voila, you're basically done. To cut through the PVC, I would 100% recommend some PVC cutters. These things work amazing. They give you very clean cuts. You can use a hacksaw. Don't think I think it's out in the garage, not getting it. It causes uneven lines, right? And sometimes I've had to use it for PVC that's greater than the dimensions here. So make sure that whatever you use, this dimension fits. Okay, so this works. This is 3/4 inch. This works up to 1 inch, so perfect. Finally, a pen. Well, second to last, you're gonna want a pen. It's really great for situations, let me see here. Okay, so if you say you have this T-valve, right? If you want to make a mark here and here when you're doing the cement, it'll allow you to keep track of the position, because once you hard plumb it, that's it, all right? So using a pen is very handy. Next, gloves. You try using gloves. This stuff smells, it really does. Don't use it without gloves, all right? Kind of lastly, I've got lastly a third time in a row, get some ventilation. I am indoors. Mochi, what's up, buddy? I'm indoors because it is cold as hell outside, all right? Ridiculous, it's very cold. I don't wanna go outside. So, what you gotta do is, my girlfriend isn't here, just tell them to go somewhere else. It smells and it's still gonna smell. Go ahead and get yourself a Glade plug-in so that the smell of these things goes away. Open up some windows if you wanna do that, get some ventilation. The fumes in here probably aren't good for you. I don't really care, but you know, I'm not taking liability if you guys kill yourself with the fumes. Let's get started. Let's do that. Alright, let's check out how we've come so far with the plumbing. We've done the little stuff, we put the PVC together. Let's look at the results. Oh man, check this out, guys. This is freaking amazing. So I think the best way to explain exactly how the sump is set up is to show you the process from start to finish on how the water comes into the sump and then how it leaves the sump. So right up here, we have our drain line and we have our return line. Water will come up from the display tank and then drain over the overflow box down and through here. It'll come below this section here, come over the reactor manifold, and then drain directly into the sump right here. Then the water flows in through these two different inlets directly into the sump. Now, I didn't really have to do this because honestly, these are 1.5 inch drain lines. I highly doubt that water is gonna have enough to flow through both of these, but it does actually spread out. You can kind of see the air bubbles coming through, and that's coming in from the one on the left. So I did get what I wanted to do. Next, the water flows in through this baffle into the Refugium chamber. I'll be doing a whole separate video on the Refugium, the Chaetomorpha that I have inside here, and basically how this whole system is working. I am using a Kessel H380 light, a grow light for the Refugium, but it creates this pink light, and it's really hard on the camera, so we're not gonna go ahead and turn that on. We're just gonna use the little LED strip that I've got up there on the ceiling. So anyways, let's move over to the protein skimmer chamber. So the protein skimmer is doing exactly what it's supposed to. I've taken the head cap off because I want to be able to see my plumbing. But the water flows through this chamber. It goes through the protein skimmer, gets out a lot of that organic material that you don't want. After that, it flows through this baffle, through a bubble trap, and then back into the return pump. So at this point, we get back into the plumbing. So the return pump is connected by this braided vinyl tubing, which you don't really need. It's a little bit stiff, but it works. From there, we come up through this, and then at this bend here, we create head pressure, okay? So the head pressure is gonna cause water to come, well, not really come back, but force water that is then at this T to come this way and across the manifold, okay? So before we get to the return line, let's go ahead and look at the manifold. So the whole purpose of this manifold is to allow me to add reactors or any additional equipment like a UV sterilizer to my system. Now, so the water causes head pressure at that point right there, comes along this manifold with an adjustable ball valve, so I can, if I want to completely take this unit off, I can with the simple removal of this one union. Okay, hits these 290s, comes over my gate, my gate valve on the drain line, and then we have both of the reactor ball valves right here. And this wasn't a gate valve, this is a ball valve. So these two reactor lines will allow me to add and remove at will these two Aquamax reactors. I'm going to have GFO, granular fluid oxide, as well as activated carbon for both of those. Right now I don't have them installed because I am missing one little thing, and that is, okay, so you see in the back right there, I've got that little plastic connector that's holding into the wood. I also need to install one here, but I don't have enough screws, so I need to go get that installed before we install the actual reactors themselves. But as it stands, I don't need the reactors right now since the system is up and running. I haven't detected any kind of nutrient levels where it would be required. I may get a jump start on it later, but anyways, that's the manifold. So once the water goes through the reactors, they're going to end right back up in the Refugium chamber and then go through this cycle again. Some of that water will then head back to the protein skimmer chamber, to the return pump chamber, get pumped back up through here. Water gets pushed back this way, follows along, hits the check valve, which is pointed the correct way. We've got our gate valve, goes straight up into the tank. Now, I couldn't do this on camera because, oh my God, there's no room. But you can take a look there. I've installed the bulkheads and I've put in the actual Durso overflow and everything else. Once the water comes through the return line, it's fed through this T-valve here, goes through 2 lock lines, which I've custom fit because this side's a little bit longer than this one, and then through these little about 45-degree bends. Now, it's not really randomized flow. I've seen some randomized flow generators out there which do look really, really sick, but that's basically the gist of this plumbing. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am to continue the project from here. The sump, the plumbing, everything I think came together really, really well. I mean, there's a couple things that I wish I could do, especially remove this center panel. As you can see from the missing paint, I did remove this section here. It's kind of a mirror of this one right there. But this part here, I'm not entirely sure if I can remove this and then this section will be structurally sound, okay? I've talked to the manufacturer. They really don't know exactly, so I'm probably just gonna leave that as is. All right, guys, it's Sunday. That means Super Bowl Sunday. I haven't shaved. I'm still in my nightshirt. My hair is not even done. I got people coming over, so I gotta get started. But I wanna talk about the next video that we're gonna be doing. The next video for this tank is gonna be the Aquascape. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's actually already been done, and I wanna give you a sneak peek before we go. 1 second. All right, guys, that's it. My name is Aaron. This is Aaron's Aquatics. See you next time.